All right, I'm all sweaty now. As you can see behind me, I've got a caber in waiting. I've also got my dog in my chicken coop. The goal is to just kind of show off the process that I use to make the cabers that I have. Not really gonna go into how I pick a caber or anything like that. It's pretty self-explanatory as far as what tree I wanna use. Is it straight? Does it taper? Does it not taper? Is it gonna be a harm to my, ecosystem that I've got built here at my house? But I'm gonna get this one kind of teeter-tottered over here, and I'll show you what tools I use, the stuff that I do to it, and then kind of go from there through the process, and you can see how that goes. Ah, Jesus. I think I'm gonna have to use the tractor. Ideally, do not cut down a tree you need a tractor to move. It makes it infinitely harder to work on. Technically, I could have moved this without the tractor. I don't want to, because why should I? I have a tractor. Yeah. Makes for an interesting background. Caber. Whether it's in view or not, I don't know. It's a long tree. I think that's what caber stands for, is felled tree. So I'm gonna go get some tools that I use to process a caber, or that I've used to process a caber. I'm not gonna tell you what kind of tree this is. I have no idea, but it's very straight, very heavy. I do have a scale. Maybe I'll weigh it at the very end of this. I wish I knew what it weighed now. That would be cool. But I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some tools, set things up. All right, we've gathered some tools together. These aren't a comprehensive list, but these are some tools that I've either used, you can use, that'll help speed the process up. Starting on what's, I think, most important, down to least important. Starting off, you got safety, right? Lots of little dust from the method that I use. I'll wear a respirator, and I'll also wear hearing protection because of this bad boy. Gets really loud. Keep your hearing. It's easy to forget that that's important. My method, I use a angle grinder. Always put the handle on because the bit that we're using is a wood carving bit. It works really good. It's got little teeth that drive into the surface that you're working on. They will rip, but if you're not careful, it will grab the wood and it will run away with you. So you gotta be really careful. So we'll get that thrown on there. Next, I like to use the hatchet for areas where I don't want to keep whittling down with the grinder. I'll try and just bring it down as much as possible. For measurement, I've got a standard 25-foot tape measure. I should never need more than 25 feet for a caber. And I've got some marking field paint, so I'll mark points at which I want to make cuts. Coming down to not so important, but kind of important, you've got a push, or just really honestly any type of wire brush to clear out the area, taking old bark off, getting rid of dirt, whatever it is. These work really good. And then lastly, I don't have the propane torch because I won't be using this, but you can, if you want, use it to burn the wood to kind of help seal it, to add a texture, whatever. It's your caber, do as you want. One thing you don't see here is a handsaw. That is something that you can use. At this point, the caber is probably already cut. In my case, I need to cut a couple feet off of both the head and the tail. There was a slight crack down at the tail end. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut some footage off, but the marking paint and the tape measure are gonna help me get what I wanna be probably about a 22-foot caber. But we'll see, because I might change my mind. But you can always cut more off, but you can't put it back on. So keep that in mind. Down of it. So you can kind of see what I was talking about here. There is a break in the caber. When I was moving it with the tractor bucket, it got pinched and broke. So I'm probably gonna have to cut it here, which, I mean, it's a fat caber, but I might be able to shape it down. As we walk down, these are what I'm talking about, using that hatchet to just kind of break these down a little bit more, so I don't have to do as much work with the grinder, because one, it's loud, two, it can get out of control quickly if you're not careful, and don't really want to do that. So I've got a lot of these little nubs I just need to break down, just get them all cleaned up. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. For the most part, it is a pretty straight tree. I mean, we look down the length of this thing here, right? It's a pretty straight tree. Nothing really crazy about it. There's a couple little places where it turns off, but in all reality, it's a pretty solid tree, and it's been sitting for about 4 months now. I can leave just about everything from the break point forward, as I'll have to come back, but I'm not gonna cut that off till probably the end and then shape the size that I want. So ideally I should wear glasses, but I'm not too worried about that. I'm not trying to take this thing down perfectly. I just want to get it a little bit closer to the bark, so I don't have to worry about, again, using the grinder more than I really have to. The other method for this that is honestly easier, and I should do, but it's broken, is my chainsaw. You can use the chainsaw to really quickly bring these down, but mine's broken at the moment, so this is what we're stuck with. We come to the other side. Honestly, the rest of these are pretty much perfect. There's just these few here that are problematic, and I can kind of roll it without worrying about it coming off. You can wear gloves too. Don't have any right now. Like I said, there's better ways to do this. This is just the way I do it. So get some left-handed anger out of here. Oh, geez, that looks so stupid. That is good enough. And the rest honestly look fine. Easy enough to bring down. All right, so put this up. We'll go ahead and throw on our safety stuff here. So, I usually like to go with the rotation. Kind of hard to explain with a mask on, but the way this blade turns, you can kind of see it turns this way. I like to catch it on the upstroke. Makes it a lot easier to kind of control. The downstroke I can also kind of control, but there's some places you don't want both to grab or it'll rip out of your hand. So we'll get started. As you can kind of see, those big ones take a while to grind down, but ultimately they come out pretty nice. Anywhere you have knots that you don't want your shoulder to get caught on, again, down that way it's not so bad. It's just kind of nice to have it as a clean taper. I might honestly put a design in it, so there's something you can do with that. It carves really well. I have a lot of gunk built up in this from when I did the cedar tree. The cedars are oily and they have a lot of like little bits and pieces that get stuck in there, so it's not as good as it could be, but these are really inexpensive for what they're good at. So I'll keep going, get this a little bit more cleaned up. The brake is right there, so I'm probably gonna have to clean these up. Takes maybe 40 minutes. I don't have any music on, but throw on some music, be safe. Don't lose sight of the fact that this is a power tool and it's willing to hurt you and doesn't care. So we'll just keep going. One thing you might see me doing is I'm leveraging the handle to kind of lock in here on the wood, and I can use it to kind of go up and around the profile of the tree. It really helps with, instead of trying to control it free-handed, I have like a fulcrum to kind of work around. So it's a really easy way to maintain control. It'll still get stuck if you're not careful, but you definitely need to have a handle. Also, I use the corded version because this process does take a lot of time, and a cordless version may not get the job done quick enough, very efficient, depending on what brand you use or whatever, but this seems to work the best with a cord. Just kind of have to have an outlet somewhere nearby. So we'll keep going. So now I'm at a point where I have just about everything I want. I've got everything basically completed on this tree, cleaned up, ready to go. I'm, as you can see, very much covered. That's why the respirator is kind of important, almost necessary. I'm gonna take a second, clean off a little bit of the bark, not really the bark, but mostly like algae and stuff. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark on one end my cut point, and then I'll pull my tape and roughly get another measurement, and then I'll hand cut them off. And for this one, I kind of want to do a spiral pattern. So I can use the carver, kind of add a little pattern or thing to it. Just seems like something cool. This is probably going to be my most difficult caber that I own. And with it being a challenge, I'd like it to be, unique. And currently I don't have a unique one. So go ahead and get started with this. This is not strictly necessary. This is more of like I wouldn't even say cosmetic. It kind of, I don't know if you can really see on camera how well it kind of cleans up the bark. Just looks nicer, honestly. It's gonna get dirty. I'm probably gonna leave it on the ground a couple times. In the rain, it's not covered. I usually water my capers, not because I expect them to grow, but mostly because I want them to not crack as easily. And I believe the best method that I've seen is to keep them wet. Keep the tree wet. They have wire wheel brushes, and in fact, I've got one for my grinder. Probably could use it, but I'm not going to. Something about doing it by hand is just kind of satisfaction. Out of breath. Satisfactory, I think is the word. Don't know. It's been a long day. As you can see, the further along into the video, the more saturated the shirt comes with sweat. So, again, this is an unnecessary process. It's kind of a cosmetic one, honestly, but something about it looks so good. So I'll keep doing it. I'm gonna go ahead. and mark this thing off at the breaking point, which is right above this knuckle. Just get it really generalized. Here, I can't even turn it, so heavy. Don't fall, please, thank you. Just really. That's the one to cut. And now, I'm gonna go cut it. Alrighty. Sawzall, because I can't find my handsaw, but I'm not gonna complain. Just gonna cut it in that area. Perfect. I'll come back with the shaper, shape that up. Let's pull a tape on it. All right, pull the tape. All right, 20 foot is right here. I'm gonna cut it at 22, like I said, because I don't wanna undercut it, but it is 23 feet, 1.5 inches. I can assure you, I cannot turn this. There's no point. So I'm just gonna blindly do this. And that's gonna be my cutting point. Because there's honestly no point in going over 20 odd feet. 22 honestly is a lot. I can always cut back. But I need to cut it from the heavy side. So we're cutting about a foot off from this pink mark. I know 23 foot 1.5 is right here. This is roughly a foot back. Again, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna shape the ends. It's a caber. There's no standard. Just needs to be difficult, and that's what I want. So here we go. That piece alone $16 pounds. So now what, right? Well, my thought that I want to shape this end, give it more of a domed top, and then come through and make like a shillelagh, maybe. I don't know if that's the word, but some type of like a walking cane design almost, right? Like you're walking the caber. It's pretty iconic. And I want that to go to like, maybe like right here. Like it doesn't have to be anything perfect. I just want it to be something. I'm thinking the best way to do this, weirdly enough, is gonna be just like spinning the caber down and around here. Like a candy cane design almost. Back up to the top. And last one. And then from there I can carve the one and then kind of figure it out past that. But this guy wants to run. So we're gonna put him here for now. At this point, I'm not even really sure what else I want to do. I'm gonna go down to the other end and clean it up. I might add more designs to it, but for now, I think that's good. Last thing I'm gonna do is clean up that corner, and then we might try and stand it up and see if I can't get a weight on it. And that is it. And I look like a mess, but it's all worth it when it comes down to cabers, am I right? Now it's getting ready to rain, but let's see if I can't take it over and get a weight on this thing. I have a feeling it's gonna be upwards of 200, so we'll see. This is definitely the biggest caber I have ever dealt with. I might not even be in view right now. I'm going to try and pick it up. Oh boy. I took a couple pounds off, that's for sure. Oh my goodness. This is gonna be a tough one to stand up if I even can. Oh my gosh. For reference, this caber, 72 pounds, 74 pounds, very much an easier caber to do. Much smaller, while only being 18 feet or so, the size and the density completely different. So let's see here. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh. If I can stand it up, I'll try and pick it, but I have to get all this crap out the way. I don't know if I can weigh it properly, quite honestly, because I'm on ground. I was gonna try and pick it and place it on this. I'm currently 250, 255, so it's reading about right. I just want a general, I can probably do this. I'm gonna try it, just to get a weight. I can't. Destroyed my scale. Oh. I don't know if it's pickable. I really don't. But we'll try it. Here we go. Come on, flip over. Ah, shit. There's no way. I don't think there's any way I could do this by myself. Like, it's doable. Dude, I think I just made an unpickable caber, unfortunately. Holy smokes. It's so hard to do with one person. I think I gotta wrap it. To be continued. To be continued.